With Pokemon X and Y right around the gosh darn corner, I thought it'd be an appropriate time to count down the top 5 best main series Pokemon games.
Aren't you too old to play Pokemon?
No!
Number 5. Pokemon Yellow is an updated version of Pokemon Red and Blue. It has better sprite art, some extra boss battles, and Pikachu following you around. Pokemon Yellow changed some things around at the original games to make it follow with the anime's story better. And you know what? I love it. I really like all 3 starter Pokemon, so whenever I play through Red or Blue, I have trouble choosing between them. But nope, Ash fucking Ketchum caught all 3 starters at one point or another, so consequently you can obtain all 3 starters in Yellow version. I believe Pokemon Yellow captures the appeal of the series better than any other Pokemon game, but there are still 4 more games that I believe are even better. Number 4.
Pokemon Emerald is the updated version of Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. The 3rd generation of Pokemon takes you across the vast Hoenn region. It's the first Pokemon game to feel like a major adventure. It's also the first game to have a grand storyline. I love the added Pokemon in this generation, and let's not forget how we all like Mudkip. The music in this game is amazing. The trumpets help add to the epicosity of it all. In Ruby and Sapphire, you get a one-sided story to a huge event, but in Emerald, you see both sides of a major storyline. It's also the first Pokemon game to have cutscenes! I love the additions of Pokemon in this game, the style, and the grand scale it portrays. Pokemon Emerald is one of the best. Number 3. That's right, where it all started. Well, the remake of where it all started. Playing the original Pokemon games for the first time was something truly magnificent, and the experience was matched when Fire Red and Leaf Green came out. I remember there being a resurgence of popularity with the Pokemon franchise, and I believe having the original games return is what helped that. What it does recreate from the original games, that's religiously accurate. Plus, it adds a bunch of new stuff. Psychic types are no longer OP, and it has major graphical updates. The magic of the original games is captured flawlessly, and even though it's updated, the nostalgia trips still come. As for why Fire Red over Leaf Green, it comes down to my preferences on Pokemon. Although I like Venusaur better than Charizard, I like having Arcanine better than Ninetales. The updates are really cool too. There's now a set of islands that you can go to after you beat the Elite Four. And after you finish all the missions on the island, you can face the Elite Four one more time, and this time, they'll be even harder. Fire Red takes what the original had and improves upon it, and that's why it's number 3.
Number 2.
The magnum opus of the Pokemon franchise. I have to admit, I am not fond of the 4th generation of Pokemon. The games run inspired in my opinion, and they're my least played games in the entire franchise. Then the 5th generation. Pokemon Black and White came out. There was a huge new variety of Pokemon, animated battles, a new graphical style, and the first intriguing storyline of the Pokemon series. It's interesting to note that this is the first region in the Pokemon series that isn't based off a location in Japan. Instead, it's based off a location in America, specifically New York City. Also, it raises questions that you never thought a Pokemon game would. Is it morally correct to battle with Pokemon? Well, it turns out it is okay because Pokemon love to fight. One flaw with these games are the Pokemon designs. I know it's cliche to complain about the designs, specifically in this generation, but it's not really the ones that everyone hates that bother me. I do admit, I do like a lot of the designs in this generation, but some I just can't seem to like. But hey, they aren't that bad. As for white over black, it all comes down to preferences. I like Zekrom a lot better than I like Reshiram, and I think White Forest is a lot cooler than Black City. By critical standards, this is the best game in the entire series, but I personally like one game better.
And number 1.
Pokemon Crystals, the updated version of Pokemon Gold and Silver, and is my favorite Pokemon game. I do believe it is the perfect follow-up and sequel to the original games, and actually thoroughly improves upon it. The added Pokemon in this generation are by far the best additions, and it has a very contrasting feeling to Red and Blue as well. Red and Blue felt very science fiction-y at points, and this one feels very fantasy-oriented. I do want to note that I believe this spot could also be taken up by Pokemon Heart Gold, one of the remakes of Gold and Silver, but I prefer this version for several reasons. Well, first of all, I feel over-nostalgic for this game, and I don't like all of the changes made in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. For instance, I don't think the red fight is as epic, I don't like how you're forced to fight either Ho-Ho or Lugia, and the Kimono sister battle is so difficult. But nostalgia aside, Heart Gold is technically the better game. I think that one of the reasons why I think this game is one of the best is because after you beat the game, you get to travel to the Kanto region, which is where Red and Blue took place. You fight harder versions of the gym leaders, the original rival, and when you beat all 16 gym leaders from both Johto and Kanto, you go to Mount Silver and fight Red, the main character from the first game. I have to admit that this may be getting the number 1 spot purely out of nostalgia. I played this game more than any other Pokemon game, I've beaten it countless times, and my memories of it are unforgettable. So that was my top 5 favorite main series Pokemon games. Who knows, maybe X or Y will join the list soon. Stay tuned to find out whether or not it will, because I'll probably post my opinions on the game when it comes out. And next week,